Hey group, this is Jessica. This video on endings is kind of more focused on the job. So I do my internship where I'm currently working. So I'm not really I'm ending with clients, but kind of not ending with them. So it's a different department. So I'll still see the clients, and some of them um, will transition into the service that I do for my job after they have done a portion of what it is that we do for them in what I do as the intern. Okay, so there will be some that will be going, but there's some that aren't. But there's always clients that are getting discharged or clients that have graduated from certain programs or aged out or things like that. So there is always a component of ending to some degree, even though I'm still going to be in the building. Seeing the same folks, and it's a small bit of crossover between the two things that I do. But like what I like to do is talk about endings in the beginning, of course. Not very heavily, but we work with treatment plans for everyone. So one of the goals on the treatment plan is a discharge goal. So when I meet with folks and we're reviewing their goals, that's one of the things that we're talking about anyway. What is it going to look like when you're towards the end? What type of things will let you know that you're ready to move forward to the next step? How are you going to handle moving forward, whether that be disconnecting completely or moving to a different service or dropping down in the amount of time that you see someone. So that's a lot of what I see happening. Like people will move from being seen um, in groups up to like 20 hours a week to maybe just doing outpatient individual therapy, which could be once a week, once a month, bi-weekly, however they feel, whatever they feel comfortable with. So that's where I see a lot of people struggling with dropping down in the amount of time that they're with their providers, because you do build a relationship with them. You have to be very careful and create boundaries, but there's just no way around having some sort of something with someone that you're working with, multiple hours throughout the week or month, however it's set up. So making sure that that's a conversation that is happening kind of throughout the process, and it's not a bam at the end, we're done, because clients have actually said, I feel like you're kicking me out, or I feel abandoned, or, all sorts of really, really big words. But it's not necessarily that, but that is the way that it's seen based on their trauma or whatever their particular set of challenges are. They don't want to disconnect. And even if you don't have a serious mental illness, disconnecting from something that you've been doing for a while, breaking a habit, something that you do all the time, it is hard. So it's something that you probably need to be speaking with them about frequently. So that is my goal and how I handle it. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. I have had folks who have said, if you cannot be my provider, then I don't want to participate at all. And that's a hard conversation to have. They definitely have choices. Sorry, my birds are kind of going bananas right now, but they definitely have choices. So if they don't want to be a part of the service, they don't have to be. But it is important for them to stay connected somewhat. So I try to not force them, but talk to them about what it would look like to be in a different part of the program, or what other community resources they might be able to connect to, just to make sure that they're having some source of support, even if it's not me. So it is a hard conversation to have, but I definitely think it's worthwhile. It's important. So my method has always been to just talk about it more than less, to kind of prepare them, but also knowing that no matter how much you prepare certain clients, it's still going to be a hard thing. I also like creating things with folks towards the end, something like a physical thing that they can have and move away from the program with, a memento, I guess you would say, um, or maybe like a letter, or just some type of physical activity that they did at the very end to take away with them to reflect on throughout the course of their life moving forward, from disconnecting from services or dropping down, or however the situation ends for that particular client. But all in all, endings can be hard. Sometimes they're hard for me, not knowing. what that client's going to do next, or if they're going to stay engaged, or if they're going to be able to walk those steps, because I'm not going to be able to meet with them to reflect on, well, how was your week? What happened with this, or what's going on with that, or are you still doing this, or whatever it is that's going on in their life. Just not having that moment to reflect with them can be hard for me too. So sometimes I have to work on endings for myself. What am I going to do when this person is out of services? How am I going to maintain? How am I going to stay within the boundaries that I'm having to create for the person? Even if I do see them, I still can't engage with them in the same way that I did before. So it's kind of both sides of the street for me. I have to make sure that I'm tackling mine and their situation with empathy and kindness, but also structure.